In this video, we are going to learn about how it is different, uh, especially in the designing and the, you can say, in the UI and the UX part, when you're building for tier 1 users, right? Uh, as a product manager, you should never try to replicate the things very that is quite popular for tier 1 cities, because the UI user audience are completely different. User persona are completely different from the tier 1. Try to think about put yourself into on in the shoes of that Bharat users, and try to build the thing that is more suitable for this. So in this, I'm going to share some examples with some principle of the UX, right? Or you can say the uh, how you should show the information on the screens so user can get that, right? Uh, yeah. So as a product manager, it is essential to it always you should focus on that from where your users are coming, right? Especially for Bharat users, your users are coming from the tier 2 or tier 3 cities, right? Where they are not very tech savvy. They are not very keen to have very sexy or fancy UI. They will only uh, they will only the requirement from only their side will be that neat and clean screen with the proper communication, right? For instance, like an example, let's take an example. Suppose your loan application journey requires that user need to enter the IFSC code of their bank account, right? For tier 1 users, maximum of users know what is IFSC code, how it will look like, and from where they have to find. But for Bharat users, it might happen there are some users who don't know about what is the IFSC code. So for this, you have to clearly communicate that you can find the IFSC code on the front page of your bank passbook, and you can also show some sample like your IFSC code will look like will start from the SDFC 1234 or ICIC 1234. Like also you can show some images where you can highlight the thing. This is the IFSC code. You have to locate this from your passbook. There are another approach that is very interesting, that if it is possible, then give an in-app search facility where your user can find the IFSC code, right? Within your application, user can select their bank name, their state, their district, their branch name, and they can easily locate the required IFSC code, right? This is the one thing. Second, uh, second principle that I would like to communicate here, that use of local language and imagery. Bharat users are more likely to engage with product which in their own language and which are they familiar with. So always make sure to translate your product translation in their local language. I would suggest never dependent on the Google Translate, right? Always use local language. Also, do not use the very heavy jargon words. Make sure that all translations be accurate, especially the financial and the legal information should be organized in such a way so one user can read and understood them, right? For example, so suppose you are building something for Gujarat, and you are referring a term agri retailer. Then Gujarat, if you write that agri retailers, no one will understood, because in the local language they call it agroj, right? Similarly, if you are building for the Maharashtra user, right? Your app is in the Marathi language. Then at that time, you should use Krushi Kendra in place of the agri retailers, right? Because these are the terms that local people are using and they are very familiar. They will relate with your UI or the communication that you are sharing here, and they will easily understood. Second, that I will highlight that always use to imagery communication, right? Some visual aids. For example, uh, if your loan application or some other journey requires where farmer need to enter that, farmer have to upload the image of Aadhaar, right? Always show a sample image wherever there is input field that farmer needs to upload the front image of Aadhaar. Always show a sample. Okay, this is the image of the front Aadhaar, and this is how it look like. So farmer or user can relate to this structure, and they will upload the clear image. What I have seen personally, when we are asking to upload the Aadhaar image, they will upload the entire image of Aadhaar. right? And this will again going going to be a problem for you when you use the Aadhaar masking API. Your API will be failed and your user will get an error screen. That will again lead to a frustration, and your UX will be pissed off. Your user will not be happy, right? Uh, Third one, that always focus to implement the offline functionality. So one thing always keep in mind, when you are building, when you are designing product for the Bharat users, especially, you are sitting in your office where you have the 100 Gbps of a speed, right? But when your actual users are using in the remote area in the hinterland, right? They might have the very weak and the poor connectivity of internet, right? So always try to build and try to provide the offline functionality. So if sometime internet connection is slow, they can able to use the app. This should not be restricted to use app. They should enter the data. Once the connection is restored, the data should be stored in your server. This will give a happy and the very aha moment for your users, right? One of the most important thing, especially building for the Bharat and the and when you are launching your app in the vernacular language, always focus on responsive design. So when you are building app, when you are designing, always designer or developer prefer to work on the English language. Your app contain English language, right? So you always prefer there. But when that, suppose I'm a user from the Tamil Nadu, right? I am using your app in Tamil language. So what I will feel, my screens are getting broken. UI started looking very noisy and clumsy. So whenever you're designing the screen, always use all type of language in which you are going to offer your app. Optimize your screens according to the size of the and the length of the your strings. Either you have to reduce your font size, you have to optimize for space, you have to uh, implement some white spaces, which might be seen especially in the some vernacular, but that might not be seen in the English language, right? Your attention to these finer and small and all the minor details will make your user happy, because when you're building for Bharat users, they will never expect that your app look like something very sexy like trade, right? They will always focus that your app should not be stuck. They should that your app should work in the very poor or very low connectivity, right? Especially when you are building, always think that your user not having the device which have the very high end RAM like 8 GB or 16 GB, because they max they can afford 4 GB RAM device, right? So there your app should not your app should not should be very heavy in the size also. That should not consume the your RAM also. You have to optimize your engineering side. Apart from that, you have to majorly focus on the UI side. And whenever you're going to launch, right, always get a proofread done, someone who belongs to that particular state, who is familiar with some vernacular language, always do the proofreading first before shipping out this. There are some scenario, if you use the Google Translate, you will fill out there are some sentence, sorry, there are some words which can completely change the meaning of entire sentence. And once you shift it, right, you will realize, yeah, this has been late. Again, you have to upload your new app, and this will take some time for adoption. So if I summarize, right, always use local language, always focus on visual or imagery communication. Always double down on the proofreading of your content, whatever you are using. Make sure your app are compatible with the low RAM device. Offline functionality is there, right? As much as possible, try to implement that. And the every input side, there should be subsample, so farmer or user can relate. If from there they have to find the data, right? Yep, that's all for this.